Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Sara Farhat, and I'm thrilled to be here as a writer in residence at House of Amal. It's hard to believe that it's already been a month, 2 months of my time here. I've been learning so much, really digging into my craft and becoming more serious with my writing. This experience has been truly enriching, and I feel incredibly lucky to be part of this vibrant community. Alongside my work as a writing resident, I'm also an intern at House of ML, where I've been lucky enough to work behind the scenes to help enhance some of the incredible programs here. For today's event, um, I've had the pleasure of helping with planning and creating the presentation. Planning the presentation you'll see shortly. It's been such a rewarding experience to contribute in this way, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to support the work of House of ML in any way I can. So today we are gathered to celebrate the Threads of Palestine anthology, weaving words of witness. This showcase is a powerful reflection of the voices and stories that weave together the rich, complex, and important tapestry of Palestine. Through this anthology, we're able to witness the strength, resilience, and depth of a people whose stories deserve to be heard. Now, without further ado, I'm honored to introduce the incredible hosts for today's event, two individuals who have been instrumental in bringing this event to life, Salma and Sundus. Please join me in welcoming them to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much, Sara, for that beautiful introduction. I'm Salma Mohammed. I'm a Palestinian Egyptian poet in my senior year of my computer science bachelor's, and I'm the creative director here at House of Amal, as well as one of the hosts and organizers for today's showcase alongside Sundas Alatra, mashallah. And we're so happy that you guys are all here.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Sundus Al-Adra. As Selma said, I'm going to be co-hosting today with her. I'm a former intern at the House of Amal, and I'm a graduate of the House of Amal's cohort or writing residence program of 2024. I'm blessed to have been able to contribute a poem to this anthology, and I'm currently with the House of Amal as an occasional an occasional host of the Writing Hour. I'm also a full-time master's student pursuing a degree in political science and international relations, but in my spare time, I'm trying to pursue what pulls me in the most through creative writing and visual arts.
And we want to bring up Amal Qasir, our CEO and founder of the House of Amal, to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you, Sundus and Salma. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to welcome everybody to this beautiful event today. What a gift to kickstart the first House of Amal live event for the year. House of Amal has been around for 5 years, alhamdulillah, and not without the presence and the building blocks, which is you, the community. This anthology, pioneered by our beloved Sara Bawani and our dear Yaqub Manju, have come together to create this profound compilation of the voices, the hearts, the spirits, and the solidarity from all around the world of the writers here at House of Amal. I am so inspired to have been witness to what has unfolded, both as a team behind the scenes and the voices that ended up being compiled in this book. Make sure you grab a copy if you have not already, because 100% of the proceeds go to Zakat Foundation. We are very serious about the sadaqah piece of this. Now, to give you a little bit of background about who House of Amal is, it is a sanctuary for the Muslim creative, for the writers. What happens on the other side of the solitary practice of writings? You will find a vibrant and beautiful group that is the suhbah we need to turn our work into something that is God conscious, something that is self-reflective, and something that has ihsan, excellence. We are here to serve the writer, and we are here to make sure our writers serve humanity as a whole, especially in a time when our voice is being stifled. We are so inspired to have seen the expansion of House of Amal. Right now, we have so many programs unfolding. We have our first 2 groups of members who are inside of the house, where we are doing writing programs, writing workshops, and so on, born from the Writing Hour, which you all know and love and found us through. If you go to houseofamal.co, you can learn about all of the different programs we have, and maybe you can get along and involved a little more deeply. We have opportunities for mentorship, coaching, writing, sharing on open mics, and so on. And this community is robust and vibrant and global. And we hope, inshallah, that it is a village that we are building, not just a online community. And as we've seen with this book, we are far beyond that. houseofamal.co. Thank you all so much, and I welcome you warmly. We are here in honor of Palestine. Set your intentions and make this time and this show an act of worship, inshallah, by showing true solidarity. I'm going to hand it back to my beloved Selma and Sundus, my two favorites in the world. Thank you guys for inviting me up on the stage. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Amal, for those beautiful words. And we're going to pass it off to Sundus to recite a dua for us and really ground ourselves as to why we're here for this showcase today and what this anthology was written about, Palestine.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. O Allah, the sustainer of the universe, we bear witness to the devastation and suffering that has befallen the people of Palestine. Homes have been reduced to rubble. Innocent lives are lost, children orphaned, and families torn apart. The cries of the hungry, the wailing of the grieving, and the pain of the injured echo in our hearts. O Allah, we beseech you to extend your mercy over this land. Shower its people with your boundless compassion and bring them relief from this hardship. Provide them with sustenance to quiet their hunger, healing for their wounds, and comfort for their grieving souls. Protect the vulnerable, especially the children who bear the weight of a world so cruel at too young an age. O Allah, rebuild not only the land covered in rubble, but also the broken hearts of its people. Grant them the strength to rise from the ashes, the resilience to rebuild their lives, and the courage to face each new day with hope for a future free from oppression. You are our refuge, our protector, and our ultimate hope. In you we place our trust, and from you alone we seek help. Hear our prayer, alleviate their suffering, and hasten the dawn of peace and justice for the afflicted. Ameen. Okay, so to give a little introduction about the anthology, the House of Amal is grateful and honored to announce our very first publication, this anthology titled Threads of Palestine, Weaving Words of Witness. It's a collection of poetry by members of our Ummah, firstly, and our creative community, secondly, who could not stay silent in the face of oppression. The voices recorded in this publication are only a sliver of a wider community that shares the same sentiments. When Gaza broke out of its prison in late 2023, it began freeing us all from shackles we weren't even aware we were being held in. Today, even as the occupation continues to violate the terms of ceasefire, even as the occupation continues its crimes across Palestine, it is undeniable that Gaza has written yet another page in history, a page of victory. It was these very events of the past year and a half which gave life to the idea of this publication. This anthology seeks to preserve, in however a small part, the values of this community which has been transformed by bearing witness to the horrors of a cruelty so unlike anything we've seen before. But we've also been transformed by bearing witness to the dignity of a people daring to take liberation from the very jaws of those oppressors with their bare hands. This anthology seeks to act as a physical record of this current reality for generations to come. That being said, the wounds that Gaza has sustained for the past 500 days, these wounds that have allowed so many of us to awaken on so many levels, whether it's coming back to our faith, coming back to our languages, reassessing our place in the world, these wounds cannot be overlooked, and they will take time and consistent effort to heal. One of the additional goals of the House of Amal through this anthology was to join this effort, inshallah, because it is a right that Gaza has over all of us. In line with this intention, it's been set up so 100% of the proceeds from the sales of this book will go to the work of Zakat Foundation in Gaza, inshallah. We ask that you join us in being part of this effort, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify our intentions and to use us within the House of Amal and without, in our private lives and our public lives, to work actively to support our ummah, to fight against oppression, and to uphold justice in the best ways we can and for as long as we are able. I've personally read the book in its entirety, and it's truly a work of heart as much as it is a work of art. It's full of beautiful writing, and I highly recommend it for any poetry lovers or Palestine lovers. buy it as a gift for yourself or for someone you know. The purchasing details can be found on the website at the House of Amal and on our Instagram page as well. May Allah purify our intentions and accept our efforts. Ameen.
Thank you, Sundus. And we're now bringing up to the stage Sara Bawani for a Q&A session.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. So good to be here and so excited to finally see this come to fruition. Really excited to chat with you all about this book. Take it away, Selma.
Yeah. So mashallah, everyone, this is Sara Bawani, our lead writing instructor at the House of Amal, who I've personally watched put her blood, sweat, and tears in the editing, publishing, and distribution of this anthology alongside Amal, mashallah. And if you guys have any questions as you go, please leave them in the chat, and should there be time, we'll answer them, inshallah. So Sara, we'd love to hear about your journey in the editing, publishing, and distribution of this anthology. What inspired the creation of this anthology to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, I want to first emphasize this is absolutely a collaborative team project. I'm here, alhamdulillah, and grateful to represent so many of the people that put their, also blood, sweat, and tears into this project. But I really want to shout out Yaqub Manju from South Africa. Like, truly, this project wouldn't really have happened without him. And we've been playing with the idea of an anthology for several years at House of Amal. But it was him who saw like a really important place for us to, I don't want to use the word capitalize, but like take like a positive advantage of what was coming in already. So in December 2023, we had our Poems for Palestine contest and got so many submissions, mashallah, which was really, really incredible. And it was through that Yaqub reached out to us and said, hey, I know y'all have been playing with the idea of an anthology because he is like an OG House of Amal community member.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you all use this contest and let's get this done? And so many meetings took place and many different stages of the process. But we used, poems from the contest and then put out an open call for submissions to the anthology. And so much was learned along the way. And what was just so humbling was to see how many people were actively writing. I know myself for many times, like I was writing as well, but in so many ways I felt stifled. But to see people literally around the world writing and pouring their heart out about what they were feeling and what they were witnessing and what they were seeing was so inspiring that we really wanted to choose everything. But of course, had like a very specific limit of what we were working with. But yeah, truly, it was a nearly year-long project that alhamdulillah culminated in December. We've sold almost 100 copies and they've been sold around the world, which is super exciting. And yeah, I'm really proud of this. And I'm not just proud of this as a personal project, but I'm proud of this really as a community endeavor, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, that's such a beautiful reflection. And shout out to Yaqub, mashallah, who's been a foundational member of the House of Amal community, mashallah. And it's so beautiful to see that this was a collaborative project that came to life. So next, Sara, explain the process of choosing the poems you did and the process of ordering them in the book.
Ooh, such a good question. I think what was really important to us and something we talk about at House of Amal often is the balance between community and craft. So we want to amplify the voices of our community, but we also really care about making them the best version they can be for the purposes of publication. So one of the main things that we were looking for was, does this poem, and all of them were fantastic, but do these poems have the potential for something even greater? And would the writer or author be willing to work with us to edit them in a very, clinical process to get them into a very different place? And were they willing to experiment with form? Were they willing to shift the content? Were they willing to essentially play with the poem to really honor the full breadth of its potential? And so we narrowed it down to, I wish I remember the number. I think it's like 28 or 30 poems. And then went through a several month-long process of editing. And I also want to shout out our cohort 2 from last year, who actually were the first round of editors for many of these poems. And so each of them were assigned in groups and took on these poems and spent hours and hours just learning, implementing the knowledge they had learned through our classes and putting them into the work of the book, which I thought was just a really, really beautiful way to have their work also in the cohort come to fruition. And so they had that first round of edits, and then myself and Emma went in for the second round. So it was a really, really intensive process. And I know, many people do anthologies differently. This was absolutely all of our first time, and there was so much to learn from it. And a lot of people are very fine with just leaving poems as they are because they're, they feel they're at their full potential, or perhaps it's not part of their process to build in the editing. But because we care about the craft, and because we really, I think, wanted to invest in our community and wanted to invest in their work, we decided to take this process, which I would argue was the long road, but 100% was worth it, just to see, mashallah, what became of it, and the ways that these poems flourished in this book. It was ordered fairly randomly, but I think that's kind of the purpose of an anthology is it's a collection of your community's work. But yeah.
Thank you. And I'm sure within that very long process, you faced many challenges. So what were the biggest challenges in the editing and publishing process?
Oh my, I mean, I don't think y'all want to hear about my typesetting problems. The formatting, the typesetting. Alhamdulillah, I've gone through this process personally twice before with a self-published book and with a book that I had published, but had a big hand in working on the typesetting and formatting. And for some reason, this was just so difficult. So for all the people that saw our little updates on Instagram about the delay, that was 100% me. And it was 100% because I was super incompetent at Word doc, apparently. Mm-hmm. But it was such a learning experience, as with all things. And every time I came across some new problem, I was like, you know what? It's okay. This is for Palestine. I want to cry and scream, but this is absolutely a sadaqah jariyah. And it was so important to ground myself in that, because sometimes when you're so deep in a project and trying to work out the issues, you forget what it's even all for. And I'm so grateful that I was not just able to do that, because I wasn't very much, but it was, again, just the community and the team that was remember, this is really important. This is an investment in, the future of poetry about Palestine. This is an investment in our community members. This is an investment in the sadaqah jariyah that will come from this. So as I keep saying, this was a team effort. And despite the many, many little things that I had to learn, yeah, it was so worth it at the end. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. This anthology is so purposeful and intentional, and seeing how much work you put in it, I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offers you all the khair possible for it, and maybe sadaqah jariyah for you. And if you guys haven't gotten a copy, you can buy them on our website at houseofamal.co/anthology. And if you do have a copy, make sure you get them for your friends and your family this Eid. I think it would be a great present, like a Eid gift, inshallah.
Absolutely a great Eid gift. I definitely second that.
Alhamdulillah. And now we're giving the mic over to Sundus to talk a little bit about the poetry etiquette and to introduce our performers.
One moment. So we're going to have a lot of our authors be online in a second, and they're going to be reading some of their poetry. And so just to go over some poetry etiquette for today, for our viewers, any lines that resonate with you, drop them in the chat. Meanwhile, keep your mic off if you're not the one who is presenting. Support and encourage the readers with emojis and icons that you can find in front of you. And there's a reflection question that we're going to leave you with that you can kind of reflect on as you listen to these pieces. And that's to kind of think about what your favorite poem or line was from today's showcase. And you can share that with us, inshallah, as we go through. Yeah, Selma, should I throw it back to you?
Yeah. And of course, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, our amazing performers. These are performers who are from the House of Amal community, and many who have stuck around prior to this anthology release, and we've had the opportunity to watch them develop into inspiring writers, mashallah. And for the poets, please introduce your name and be mindful of the time, inshallah. And as you perform, say your name and the title. And inshallah, with that, we're handing off the mic to Hajara Zahid, our first performer.
Jazakallah khair, sister. I'm Hajara Zahid from Sri Lanka, and my poem is titled Gardens of Paradise. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You let out a sigh. Once again you've survived. Through the rubble, familiar voices draw nearer. You close your eyes, draw a long breath, wishing things were how you remember. Sailors and their seas, farmers preparing the soil, the children singing alongside the laughter of sunbirds, neighbors and their stories of your father pressing olive oil. Love and compassion was the language your son learned. You open your eyes and take in what you see. You've been rescued to rejoin a world of catastrophe, left with animal feed, dead bodies, tent scraps, and a dying hope of what could be if your homeland is returned back. Blood-streaked walls border every street. The aftermath of every attack leaves a terrible taste. But war-torn towns have dreams to safekeep, so despite the displacement, you stand full of praise. You roam what is left of the gardens of Palestine. Olive groves and lemon trees grow into mass graves. You know your home is among the gardens of paradise. With his remembrance, you remain a grateful slave, teaching restraint while treating the pain. With utmost compassion, you console. Hold on a little longer, for just a little more remains. Hold on until it is called upon believing souls. Welcome and rejoice, O gazans of paradise. Behold your reward for all you endured. Welcome and rejoin the martyrs of Palestine. Eternity is yours by the grace of your Lord. Jazakallah khair.
Gotta show some love for Hajara all, mashallah. That was such a beautiful poem. And next we have Noha Nasri. Welcome to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Noha Nasri, and my poem is called Rivers of Palestine. Ya Palestine, it was 2000 when I wrote my first poem for you about children tripping over bloody limbs on their way to school. It's 2023, over 20,000 have been killed. There are no more schools. Rescue heroes tripping over bodies of bloody children. There are no more children. Only souls witnessing hell on earth. Your land drowns in the stench of genocide, and politicians hide behind blind eyes, denying a ceasefire. My heart bleeds, but it's your blood on the streets. You are the rivers that nourish the motherland, your veins drained into the veins of Palestine. There are no kisses goodnight, only bombs forcing goodbyes, children identified by the names written on their arms, if they're still attached. I scream in blood-curdling dreams about your reality, Ya Palestine. Your angels in the form of humans too pure for this earth. Your men murdered while consoling orphan children burned by white phosphorus, skin marred by the dried blood of 1,000 victims. Cries for ceasefire fall on deaf ears, but we hear you. Your trials are our tribulations. How can I stand before God if I did not at least speak for your freedom? I pray for your children to hold books instead of bodies of their mothers, in search of knowledge instead of mutilated siblings under rubble. If you kill one person, it's as if you've killed all of humanity. They've murdered over 10,000 of your people in 30 days. This is math I can't comprehend. So tell me, are we dead or alive? Oh, children of Adam, if you have a voice, call for ceasefire. Ya Palestine, your rivers will flow free. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you so much, Noha. That was amazing, amazing piece. That was such a heavy poem with
Thank you.
almost terrifying imagery. And I really got goosebumps just from the first line, subhanAllah. Like when you asked, are we dead or alive, oh children of Adam? I was like, subhanAllah. The Palestinians are a people who teach us how to live, subhanAllah. Thank you so much for sharing that poem. Thank you, Noha. And next, we have poet Sara Farhat to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum again.
Salam.
All right. Hello, everyone. So my piece is called Dear World. Dear world, am I not human? My flesh and identity unwanted? Haggard, hated, a hazard sign drapes me, sharp stares suffocating me. World, don't my roots originate from you? Yet you uproot me, then tell me I'm causing the chaos. Didn't you cast a dark lens on me, stranding me? World, wasn't it you who labels and dismisses which lives matter, pointing fingers at me, saying I am to blame, while my home burns in flames? When it comes to me, you become blind. Am I not one of yours, a part of your backbone, crushing and crumbling, dislocating me at sea? Didn't you plant me, tell me to grow, and then cut my flowers? Didn't you make me bare and barren? Displace and sever me as my unexpected blood escapes. World, am I not your captive, confining me with your judgment, depriving me of a name and identity? Weren't you who birthed us to give us homes, inviting me to live? World, am I not your residence? Who do I call home then, if that's not you? Thank you.
MashaAllah, Sara, thank you so much for sharing. Sara really is a Renaissance woman. Like, show her some love because she helped organize this showcase as well, MashaAllah. And especially that line that stood out to me was like when you said, "Oh world, don't my roots come from you, yet you uproot me." SubhanAllah. I love that line specifically. MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Sara. Thank you. And next we have Zahira Badat, if you can come to the stage. Okay. Zahira is not here. That's okay. We can move on to our next performer, Tajuddin. You are up to the stage. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you all for your wonderful work and for this wonderful program. My name is Brother Taj. I'm presently in Aurora, Colorado. My poem today is called New Reservation. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the New Reservation, where Palestinian is synonym for Native American, where Gaza is but a stera strip that's slapped on the bullet wound, where martyrs smack into the bricks and the people barely fit, and the kettle was bound to boil over real soon. Where freedom dies like buffalo in silence, while future lives are victim to the addiction of violence. Just how do you live in a city that you must sell? The broken parts of your neighborhood that have been repeatedly shelled, bombed out and torn down, the word building always a verb and never a noun, where schools and masjids are smoldering has-beens, where the cityscape is scorched out stubble and people buy food by recycling the rubble. The natives are given reparations of casinos and payday loans over here, but in Gaza, they only have slingshots in their mother's tears. Stuck like Old Testament Hebrews in between Egypt and the sea, bricks mortared by the concrete of despair and misery. Neither neighbors nor the waters provides any relief. Sabra and Shatila are today's Wounded Knee in Sand Creek. And if we consult the past and see the future unfold, we know that Pandora's box holds very little hope. Life in the strip stays a sad ballad of tear gas canisters and full metal jackets, suicide runs, retaliation, and adolescent martyrdom, where sons are taught to die young because war is the only thing left to live for. They want jobs, but not an occupation. They're not looking for casinos or buck-tooth sports logos to trade for their assimilation. So they try to sleep the sleep of giants, to dream the dream of Philistines. Every fingertip is a wick, lighting hookah pipes and dynamite. The people pray for rain daily to wash away the pain, but what comes from the river of sorrow is the only moisture they get. That same bitter water drank by Geronimo that made him immortal. Do they remember the lessons that the old books taught? Do they remember the ancient Gaza that Samson walked? Do they see the hands pushing and pushing on the pillars because the reservation is rapidly running out of room? They're pushing and praying and pushing while the people are dancing in the pavilion, oblivious and blind. They don't see the pushing and they don't hear the prayers. No, they're still dancing in the pavilion, oblivious and blind, and they don't see the hair on Samson's head that's starting to grow back. So they don't hear the roof above them that's starting to crack.
MashaAllah, Brother Taj. Thank you so much. I felt not just the words of your poem today, which were very amazing, but the weight of your performance. Like I feel like you have the blood of a spoken word poet, MashaAllah. And I really felt your performance as well, MashaAllah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And next up to the stage, we have Jawiria.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jawaria Muhammad, and my poem is called Ghazal for Gaza and Genocide Deniers. The Arabic word used to refer to those who have died in sacrifice is shaheed. More than a martyr, its root also means to bear testimony or to witness. My phone, a weighted messenger in my palm, lights up and screams a splinter of a soundbite. From thousands of miles away, my entire living room bears witness. A boy rubs the belly of a white, wild-eyed cat, her brittle hair like prickly spines, her meowing muted from the missiles witnessed. The woman knead and press palms into dough, carefully baking costly bread. The sagging bag of flour in the corner, wet with blood, is witness. Bride and groom clasp hands in a schoolhouse turned shelter, grasping for a slice of joy. In this union of resistance, the dancing children are witness. A man coated in ash scrapes away rubble with fingernails, only to find the scarf of his mother, green and white, still scented like the shaheed. 4 infants wrapped in sheets at a hospital decompose. The hissing respirators now silent. A journalist was witness. Before him, the stray dogs were witnesses. The ground against her will soaks up blood and swallows small bones, only to be dug up and spit out again. She will retaliate. The passing clouds are her witness. The sheep, the stones, the strawberry fields, the olive trees, the air soiled with smoke, all weep, witnessing the stories shuddering at the lips of the shaheed. Do the dying record and plead for dignity when they are inheritors of whiteness? Thin pink flesh so easily believed, so easily beholden to, without any question of witness? Justice always finds her vessel, bursts out like water from a broken dam, gushing giant waves. I wish for her frothing wrath to engulf you. Watch your mouth split aghast in witness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jawiria, for sharing. That piece had incredible imagery, mashallah. And next, inshallah, we have Ray Lassina to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. So my poem is called Each Life Released a Verse, and it contains a coined word. I didn't coin it. Somebody more talented than I did. It's velocore. Velocore is the scent of old books in an old bookstore, just old books. That's sort of when you open up an old book and you get that kind of nostalgic smell. So I thought maybe to understand the poem, you might need that. So let me read it, inshallah. Each life released a verse in a poem of 1,000 stanzas, in a book of 1,000 pages. The children of the olive groves, taken down from the high shelf, held in your lap by the window, where you sat with mother once on a night when the world was gray with rain, when the night's lament was only the rattle of rain. Rest your cheek against this page where it's rested before. Breathe deep the scent of mother's hands, of velocore. And after the ordnance falls and the night turns to red flame, anguish the night's lament cries out. Each page curls black, each verse flame bit. Flensing smoke fills your throat. And coiled above the burning block, each floating ember cools to ash. Each gasp burns, burns. The missiles fall, the burnt page, the reek, the smoky night's lament, the devil's velocore. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ray, for sharing. Velocore, indeed, you definitely painted this imagery of like, it felt like class. I was reading classic poetry, so that was amazing, mashallah. I really liked that piece. Thank you. And inshallah, next we have Sanya to the stage. We have Walid to the stage, actually.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Walid Kassel, and this is my contribution to the anthology of Threads of Palestine. It's called For the Cause. And like this, it goes. The sneaky rats bit hard, spilled blood, stole land, injustice reigned, resistance risen, the occupation and the treason tried to stop the march of liberation, breaking bones, repression, forced pacifying, but coming back every time, the Intifada kept rising to dust off, to revive the resisting sacred mission, freeing the land from the hands of occupation, rising against the law of the jungle that's ruling the world, a rules-based order ruling with double standards. The mighty nations have forced the acceptance of wrongs as good things, no sanctity of human rights or peaceful resolutions, no consistency in this half-blind, fully tied justice. The law is only applied against weak nations. The mighty nations have a pass, and we have our voices and actions. Let's aim them at these double standards. Let's join our forces. Let's fight injustice. Free Palestine is the anthem. To free oppressed peoples is the rhythm. In the law of the jungle, what is stolen by the weapons cannot be returned by demands. Self-determination is the path. A struggle armed against the tyrants. For the red freedom, there's a door knocked on with every blood-stained hand, giving everything precious it has, a heavy price to be paid for the cause. هذا وإن للحرية الحمراء بابا بكل يد مضرجة يدق. والسلام عليكم.
Thank you so much, Walid. That was a beautiful poem, especially the Arabi at the end, just like adds a little spicy touch. I love it, mashallah. And next to the stage, we have Sanya.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Sanya Ahmed, and I'm so blessed and privileged to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. The title of this piece is I Bear Witness to Heart Failure. She sits at her desk, day eclipsing into night, as I am kept trapped and quiet between ribs. The boy whispers the shahada to his baby brother, coaxing the words to his tongue so he is comfortably welcomed home. The newly orphaned babies cry, ringing grief into the air like missiles piercing clouds. Doctors discover their own families deceased as bodies are brought to emergency floors. Parents carry martyrs within the palm of their hands. I cry out, wounded from the shrapnel, aching as limbs are pulled out from under the rubble, carrying parts of my own youth in plastic bags. She tries to bury me in the spine of her books, crushed between pathogens and complement cascades, as if the infectious injustice could be fixed by simple clotting, as if pharmacological agents need memorizing when phosphorus bombs eradicate entire classes of school kids. She turns off her socials as internet cuts out in Gaza to isolate without escape. She wants to focus on building illness scripts as buildings fall aflame on her sisters and brothers. I weigh heavy on her lungs, and the cavity fills with the blood of our people. She winces at every breath, reminded that humanitarian hospital rounds don't have ceasefire, so neither can her slow loss of humanity. She drowns in survivor's guilt, suffocated by systems she operates in, that remove her from herself and from her people. It is easier to divide and conquer, to sequester into confines of professionalism that push her into complacency. She fails exams and her people. Her mind and heart stretched across oceans, her scarf soaking the wounds of the Ummah, her soul sutured to the hands of humanitarian healthcare. Her revolution is in the turmoil of keeping her head down to survive and study, when all I want is to serve my people on the front lines, to stand against oppression everywhere, to mourn the realities of those enduring, and make endless dua for liberation and lives martyred. Someone said that successful completion of steps to become a doctor is a pledge to help my communities in the future, but wombs become tombs, and I worry what community will be left by the time we gain enough power. And what is our worth if not for our people? We joined medicine to heal, not to be held from truth. And I titrate her soul into reality, staining her white coat with fatigue and pain and remembrance, and shackle her stethoscope to myself. So while the world may suffer from heart failure, we will remain alive. Jazakallah khair.
That last line, mashallah. I mean, every single line, mashallah, mashallah, tabarakallah. Sania is a doctor and a poet. She really can do it all. So beautiful to see you again, Sania, mashallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah. Sania was actually one of our very first cohort members, and it's just beautiful to see how far she's gone in her writing journey, mashallah. So much to learn from her. So next up to the stage, we have Selma, other Selma.
Salam, my name is Salman Dais, and my poem is titled The Gates of Every Home. Even when the world ignores your pleas, even when its people fail you time and time again, know these scars are a testament to your faith, etched into the heart of every child longing for their homeland, surpassing generations, where olive trees continue to adorn the gates of every home with power, creating beauty out of remnants that mark strength like no other. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Selma. And next up to the stage, we have our very own host, Sundus.
Salam, everyone. Okay, so my poem is called Fair Play. Just be a good little Arab. Palestinian? What's that? Be a good little Arab. Do what the nice white man is telling you to do. Just be a good little Arab, and we'll make sure to spare you. That's what they tell us day and night on the news. But what they won't tell you is that even when we take their word for it, heed their warnings stamped on sheets of paper dropped generously on us from the skies, while they simultaneously deprive us of everything we need to stay alive. Even when we play by the intricate rules they lay on the sadistic game board they paint beneath our feet, we still lose every time. And there is no finish line. We anxiously await for the world to awake, to realize that the game is rigged and the nice white man lied, but too many can't seem to see beyond the shine of his fair hair and the twinkle of his blue eyes. So we trip over our tracks, scrambling to find a third option, hurtling through fiery rings of uncertainty, trying to move fast enough to dodge the terror aimed at us even in our sickness, even in our sleep, targeting our houses of God, targeting our fleeing feet. We play probability mind games to pick the safest place to hide, theoretically, pretending we don't know that in reality nobody escapes the crosshairs of the colonizer, who won't sleep until we cease to exist. Just be a good little Arab, they say. After all, don't you want us to spare you? Be a good little Arab. Don't dream of independence or safety. What good does that do you? Just be a good little Arab. You're not a terrorist now, are you? Don't go demanding justice or freedom. You don't look like us. You're not white like us. Remember? How could you? Thank you.
A beautiful way to end the night, mashallah. And that's a wrap on our amazing performers. I felt like there was a little plot twist there with our hosts and this performing, mashallah, mashallah. And we want to give a big thank you to everyone who came to support this House of Amal showcase. All the poems you just heard are available in our anthology, Threads of Palestine, which is available in the QR shown here. All proceeds go to Zakat Foundation, a charitable foundation that is helping aid Palestine. And it's a great opportunity to start your Ramadan with some sadaqah, send it to your family and friends, get it for them as a Eid gift. That would be a great way to have some sadaqah jariyah from your part. And if you don't already follow us on Instagram, our handle is @HouseOfAmal, and tag us in your story or post answering what your favorite line, poem, or takeaway was from today. We are so thankful of all our performers who took time out of their day to be here, and so proud of their journey with us here at House of Amal. And a shout out to Sara Farhat, who helped so much in the planning of the showcase, mashallah, and Walid Kisal, who was our visionary for having this showcase, and Yaqub, who helped bring the anthology to life in the idea of it. These three poets who have contributed tremendously to House of Amal in many different ways, mashallah. And if you guys have extra time, we do have a survey link that we will drop in the chat, and we'd love your input and feedback on how this event went, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, everyone, and have an amazing day.